Many people are bringing in 2020 with plans for the new year and decade.
But 20 years ago, many were relieved when their plans for a new decade did not go as planned when the clock struck midnight.
Chris Williams looks back on the 20th anniversary of what was supposed to be Y2K.
I think I still have that sweater.
Looking back, Todd can laugh at that bunker of food and supplies.
Family are preparing for the downside of Y2K.
20 years ago, it was a different story.
There's people out there that I've talked to that said, there's nothing going to happen. What are you basing that on? Nobody knows. No one.
He wasn't alone. On the eve of Y2K, the year 2000, people rushed grocery stores.
I'd say 30,000 flashlights in the last month.
Bought supplies, water, and gas.
Are you filling up your car because of Y2K?
Not at all, not worried.
Why are you filling up your car?
Out of gas.
That guy wasn't, but plenty were on edge. With the world more computer-reliant than ever before, experts theorized doomsday scenarios when technology rang in the new year, and zeros and ones of binary code saw nothing but 00. Would time run out on civilization?
There's surplus military generators we brought in just in case power goes down on January 1st.
Cops got ready. Governments ran disaster drills. Hospitals not only stocked up on supplies, some filled bathtubs, preparing for possible widespread power and water outages. And there was one type of story that topped the rest. Those who prepped, like Todd's family.
We're average, everyday folk that, are a little concerned, and we're not going to depend on somebody else to take care of us if something does happen. Well, it turned out to be nothing, but no one knew at that time. So it was a little concerning for us, but it turned out to just be another day. We woke up the next day and nothing had changed, and life went on.
And what happened to all the food?
We ate it. We had a big party and we ate it all.
There are many theories about what happened to prompt the emergence of modern civilization. But whatever occurred, it clearly stretched beyond the border of the ancient Maya world.
It was probably climate. It appears that there were some fairly rapid climate change events that occurred then. My argument would be that climate change is a primary driver of the evolution of human societies.
Global climate change, a hot-button issue for our time, may have had an even greater impact on the ancient world. And while the start date of the long count may shed light on past events on Earth, the end date, December 21st, 2012, heralds an even rarer coincidence, one that hasn't taken place for 26,000 years.
Something that's very interesting is that the sun on December 21st, 2012 will be aligned with the Milky Way galaxy.
On this day, the sun, the earth, and the plane of the galaxy, the galactic equator, line up. And the fact that it happens on the winter solstice, December 21st, a lot of people, particularly astrologers, have said this is an important alignment.
Going back in time 26,000 years, the world was a very different place.
26,000 years ago, when you had the same situation, you are talking about the height of the last ice age. This alignment is a unique point in time, a unique point in history, and if the Mayans could figure this out and develop a calendar that allowed them to end this world age on this significant point where there is this alignment, that just shows how incredible they were.
26,000 years ago, the Earth began dramatically warming up. Is the galactic alignment to blame? And what does that mean for December 2012?
There are those who believe that an alignment of the planets can cause the sun's surface to be perturbed and there to be explosions and things that result.
And these have an incredible effect on the surface of the Earth, heating up the atmosphere, changing climatic conditions. I believe this had a very profound influence and effect on ancient civilizations, even to the point of essentially wiping out certain ancient civilizations and setting humanity into essentially dark ages. The sun does seem to be going into a period of instability. Solar activity is ramping up. Does this tie in with the galactic alignment? We are coming to the end of a cycle. We're coming, as they called it, to the end of a world age. This has happened in the past. Each world age was supposed to end in a different type of destruction, and I believe the Mayans were saying to us, this is happening again.
And that the apocalypse was near. The apocalypse was near.
You know, the things that he talks about are the labor pains. They have always been with us. He said, but when you see them coming at closer and closer intervals, then you know that the happy occasion is about to take place. And you know that the baby is about to be born. And so I took those passages, 6 labor pains, I apply them to our world today and show how the rapidity and the shortness of intervals between their happenings is a clear indication that our Lord could be around the corner.
You know, it's interesting because one of the debates that people will have, obviously outside of the church, but also in the church, is that the world is going to get better. People will say things are going to improve. You know, we're going to march toward this arena. And again, you have that on the secular side, everything they're doing to try to make the world better and more inclusive. And then you have the Christian side, again, having that debate. What do you say to those who would argue that based on what you see Jesus telling us?
Yeah. Well, you know, you have to understand, the people outside of the church, the pagan culture. Now, there are Baal worshippers. They're worshiping Mother Earth. They're worshiping the sun and the star and the moon. They are people who are into that. That's their God. And therefore, they feel...
And so with each fallen enemy, his wealth grew ever more fantastic, and a whole industry sprang up around the trials, as others saw a chance to profit from the fear. During the 1600s, Moravia in the modern-day Czech Republic was witness to some of Europe's most intense witch trials, as hundreds of thousands of people were tortured and burnt at the stake, often for farcical reasons and as a result of confessions they made during lengthy and brutal torture sessions. The 17th century was an especially dark period of European history, with the 30 Years' War fought between 1618 and 1648 ranking as one of the continent's longest and most destructive conflicts, resulting in an estimated 8 million casualties and reducing much of Central Europe to ashes. This devastating war, coupled with deadly plagues and the religious tensions unleashed by the Protestant Reformation, had understandably left many feeling that mankind was doomed and that the apocalypse was near. Christians across Europe became gripped by the idea that the devil lurked around every corner, intent on corrupting the minds of men and bringing down human civilization. Superstition, rumor, and fear clouded the judgment of the masses and would lead to the deaths of thousands of innocent men, women, and children as allegations of witchcraft erupted throughout the land, and that the apocalypse was near.
Today, the Salem witch trials remain a cautionary tale of the dangers of groupthink and scapegoating, and the power of fear to manipulate human perception.
Both the onset and demise of these atrocities came gradually, out of seemingly ordinary circumstances. The potential for similar situations in which authorities use their powers to mobilize society against a false threat still exists today, but so does the capacity of reasoned dissent to combat those false beliefs.
And that the apocalypse was near.
What the Bible said in Proverbs 2:6, which says, "For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding." Animals don't just wake up one morning and decide to do bizarre behaviors, like moving around in a circle for days without taking a break. This makes people wonder what is happening or if God is trying to warn us about something coming. The last time animals moved strangely was during Noah's time in the Bible, where all animals came in pairs, male and female, to the ark. We are sure people during Noah's time questioned why the animals behaved strangely and moved together like we are now. Because as the Bible records, neither Noah nor any man guided the animals to the ark. Even if they tried, they would not have been able to control that large number of animals. So it was an act of God. We all know destruction happened immediately when the animals entered the ark. Genesis 7:11-12 says, "In the 600th year of Noah's life, on the 17th day of the 2nd month, on that day all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened, and rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. The flood lasted for 150 days. The water was so mighty that it covered all mountains and wiped out every living thing off the face of the earth. And since that great flood, destruction of such magnitude has never been recorded again. Even animals moving strangely were never recorded again until now. This shows that something big is about to happen, which might be God's warning." Now, a lot of you might be skeptical. You might come up with many scientific explanations to convince yourself that all these things are conspiracy theories and nothing is happening. But the reality is that
the apocalypse was near.
Wars are happening, and we also hear rumors of war. There is famine and pestilence in the world. The global economy keeps falling, and new diseases are everywhere. More people are becoming unruly and disobedient to their parents. False prophets are on the rise. Natural disasters happen almost every day, and animals are moving in mysterious circles worldwide. Many of these signs point to fulfilling the last days prophecies. Don't be like the 5 foolish virgins with no oil in their lamps who missed the bridegroom coming in Matthew 25. The signs, like the traffic lights on the roads, tell us when or not to cross. God is giving us these signs, and we better be ready like the 5 wise virgins that had extra oil for their lamps, for we know neither the day nor the hour in which the Son of Man is coming. The great shaking is upon us. It will reveal those that stand with God and the wolves in sheep's clothing. Christians can prepare for these terrible times by holding on to faith and keeping God's commandments. We must also watch and pray and take heed not to fall. Guys, we can no longer deny that these strange and mysterious things happening worldwide bring us closer to the rapture and the second coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. Yes, there will be more prosecutions and tribulations in these last days. People will think we are stupid and mock us to our faces. But we can prepare ourselves for the rapture and the second coming by living a faithful and virtuous life, following the teachings of Jesus Christ, and striving to be a good person. We must also pray regularly, reading our Bibles faithfully, and tell others about this good news of salvation. But above all, we must ensure we don't fall for the schemes of fake prophets or be swayed by the system of this world into believing that Jesus Christ won't come back again. What do you think about these strange animal movements? How are you preparing for the second coming of our Lord Jesus Christ? Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel to get more eye-opening and Bible-revealing content on our channel. Thanks for watching. God bless you.
And that the apocalypse was near.